Hey, good morning, Emergence Church. Good to be with you guys for our daily devotional today. We are in the book of Ecclesiastes. We find ourselves in chapter 5, and this is actually the theme of most of the book. It's this reality that fear God, right? That we have all these things that these vanities that we chase after, all these things that we look to in this world to bring us fulfillment and joy. And the reality is what the preacher is saying is that we are found our full worship when we fear God, when we walk in reverence and we walk in response to our worship and adoration to God. So it starts with this. It says, guard your steps when you go to the house of God. To draw near to listen is better than to offer the sacrifice of fools. For they do not know that they are doing evil. Be not rash with your mouth, nor let your heart be hasty to utter a word before God. For God is in heaven, and you are on earth. Therefore let your words be few. For a dream comes with much busyness, and a fool's voice with many words. Let's stop there real quick. I think what's important to point out here is that this idea of worship, right? And the reality that we are worshipers. We are created to worship. Inside of us, we're worshiping. Whether we worship the right things or not, that's kind of something we have to ask God to show us, right? We can worship things that God created that are good, but are not worthy of our worship, right? We can worship our jobs. We can worship a sports team, right? We can, maybe not now because not many are playing, but we can worship things. We have this worshiping sense in us. And the incredible thing about the ability right now is that to worship God is that we do that in the lens of what Jesus says, of worship in spirit and in truth. In John 4, Jesus talks about that one day we'll be worshiping in spirit and truth. And so as the preacher's talking about worshiping, guard your steps to the house of God, right? That worship was centralized there. But when Jesus comes, he tells us that the Spirit of God is going to be is accessible everywhere. And so we need to have that mindset of not separating what we see as this. Many people call this the sacred secular divide, right? Where we only see God in this place that we have to go to and it's very religious, and we have to do all these steps to get there. And I think we leave him outside of all the other activities and the other opportunities that we have in our life. And I think there's a huge danger in that. What we need to realize is that God, we can worship God in spirit and truth. We should be worshiping in all things and not keep God separate from our everyday activities, right? I can worship God in the way that I treat my family. I can worship God in the way that I love my neighbor, right? I can worship God in the way that I work my job, right? There's acts of worship. And it talks also about just guarding our steps, right? How we approach God. Are we approaching God in reverence, right? Or are we just kind of asking God to come along with us and just tag along in Jesus here, step in with for a little bit, but I'm still leading the show, right? A real reality says that God is in heaven, right, and we're on earth. There's a humility, right, a reality of saying, wow, a posture of God, you are above me. You are the creator. I am the creation. Help me see you in that lens. Help me not be this individualistic, self-serving person. Help me to serve you and worship you as I serve you. And it says, let your words be few. What a great calling, right? As we worship God, do we recognize that his word is above ours, right? His word is what we should be reflecting on and praising. And then it ends, it says, when you vow a vow to God, do not delay paying it, for he has no pleasure in fools. Pay what you vow. It's better that you should not vow than you should vow and not pay. Let your mouth lead you into sin, and do not say before the messenger that is a mistake. Why should God be angry at your voice and destroy the work of your hands? For when dreams increase and words grow many, there is vanity. But God is the one you must fear. Once again, it's going into these vanities, right? These man-made schemes in a way, and we're vowing these things to God. We want these desires that are our desires and not God's. And what the preacher is telling us and reminding us is that God is the one we must fear. God is the one we must fear. We must start there. Our foundation, right, and in experiencing and enjoying the things of the Creator, right, must be found in our reverence and our fear and awe of the Creator, right? The Creator. And so this morning, do we find ourselves in this trap of the sacred secular divide, right? Do we see that we can worship God in spirit and truth, that we don't need to be at a certain place, that we can, as we watch devotionals or whatever, we can respond in worship. God, you're good. God, you are incredible. God, thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to worship you, that you've given me these the ability to worship you, God. I can just even praise you for that. So think through that. Think through that. And just think about also, as we do look at the created things of this world, are we looking at them in an unhealthy worship, right? Does that become idolatry? Do we see these things as ways to gain our own desires and to please ourselves, right? Rather than seeing God as a God who likes, he allows us to delight and enjoy in the created things, as long as it's in the right context. And so I pray for that this morning. Great verse, great passage this morning, and hope you guys have a great day.